Hi, I'm Caleb. Welcome to another episode of the Late Night Laundry, where I share my thoughts, feelings, and fears, triumphs on being a first time dad. Here we are, about 10 days into fatherhood. Um, lots happened, lots has happened. This week, we're going to go over all things poop, some baby jitsu, feeding, and to Google or not to Google. Let's begin with poop. So I never thought that I would be so excited about poop. So what happens is, in my case, my wife's milk took a few days to come in. During this time, baby has passed, with a newborn, baby has passed meconium, which is a sort of tarry poop that they've built up, through swallowing amniotic fluid and their own feces and things like that, later in pregnancy to get ready, to get their digestive system ready. Once that has passed, a new type of poop comes through. And this takes time because my wife's milk hadn't come in yet, and I've never been so excited to see poop. This means it's reassuring, everything's working fine, as it should, and just a proud daddy, proud that he pooped. And now for this week's episode of Baby Jitsu, I would like to demonstrate 3 moves. The first I call the machine gun hold. This is where baby's head will be in this hand, baby's backside will be in this hand, and you just sort of gently rock them like a machine gun. Second is a little more complicated. So first, you've got to get into what I like to call the inverted praying mantis right here. So got to get your body like this, and then it's going to change. So you'll be cradling baby here. And the trick here is, once baby falls asleep in this position, you've got to get him into bed. So you've got to change into extended viper pose from inverted praying mantis. So inverted praying mantis starts like this. And then you move into extended viper. Let me demonstrate. And lay baby down. Done. The third is what I like to call subtle hands technique. This is a technique that takes a lot of practice, but essentially, baby sleeping soundly on a surface. You've got to be able to slip your hands underneath simultaneously from both sides in order to pick them up carefully so that they don't even know that they've been picked up, and you can carry them safely to their crib. So in order to do this, what you probably want to do is take a couple of eggs and place them on a flat surface underneath like a little swaddling cloth. And then you want to be able to try and practice slipping your hands, slipping your fingertips underneath without rolling the eggs. If you can do this, you have mastered the slipping hands technique. Thank you for joining me for this week's episode of Baby Jitsu, and I'll see you next week on Late Night Laundry. Hey, Caleb here. Getting towards the end of the night. Long nights here at the Late Night Laundry. Let's discuss the brutal reality that is late night feeding. What we have is we pump. My wife pumps breast milk. And there's lots of ways to store it. You can freeze it. You you can put it in your fridge. We actually put it in our fridge here, and I have these little bottles. What you have to do is you got to make sure that you get to know your baby's feeding habits and how often they want to feed. We call our little guy the hog because he just constantly feeds. But if it's been a couple hours, you want to have that milk ready for him when he wakes up. So what I do is I take a little cup here, and we pop that in the microwave here and heat it up. And then what we'll do is we'll stick the bottle in here for a few minutes after that water's hot, and then I'll be able to transfer it to a bottle with a nipple that you can feed baby with. And you got to make sure the nipple's the right size. The hole in here is usually indicated, the size of it is indicated somewhere on the nipple. If it's too much, baby will get too much food and they'll spit up too quickly. So you just got to make sure that you're ready for that. Clearly I'm a guy, so I don't have any breast milk on me, so you're kind of reliant on the milk supply. So before you put baby down for the night, you want to make sure that you have enough, and don't underestimate your child. They can be very hungry, like mine. The last thing I want to talk about tonight on the late night laundry is to Google or not to Google. So what I mean by that is, as a first-time parent, you know, we live in the information age, and I'm not going to be able to get away with telling my son the moon is made of cheese like my dad did. And I believed him until a certain age. You know, the information age means that at your fingertips is anecdotal stories, you know, medical journals, blogs, you know, all kinds of social media posts regarding how to parent and what's healthy and what's safe, and etc. How to sift through all that, you know, that's difficult to say, but there is a lot of information out there. You know, as expectant parents, my wife and I read a few books on how to parent and what that entails, and yeah, I definitely recommend reading any book. You know, statistics say that if you read any parenting book, you're likely to have, you know, a leg up and be able to be a better parent. But you know, I'm a researcher at heart. I love to research, and I would recommend Googling in moderation, and with a healthy understanding that when you Google things, and they may not all be true, of course, and you're going to have to kind of filter some of the nonsense out from what applies to your situation. So take your time, you know, digest that information. Anything you come across, just realize it may not apply to your specific baby or your specific, you know, way of doing things, but it's good to educate yourself. So I would say definitely Google and learn as much as you can. So thanks for joining me tonight on Late Night Laundry. Here's my sleeping puppy dog, Orvie, and we'll see you next week.